Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. It's Kim here, and it is you might see a little bit of sunshine on my table here. It's quite early this morning, so I'm enjoying the bright sun, but it might show up in my table a little bit. So today is our Techniques Tuesday, back to basics, and I thought I would work with some window envelopes today and show you my technique with window envelopes. And before I got started this morning, I always have my coffee in the morning, and I try to answer comments, and I try to watch a couple of videos. And every video that came up this morning had to do with envelopes, and I thought, oh no, my mojo's going to go out the door if somebody's doing something with me, because then I'm going to have to find something else. But every envelope was different, so I was quite happy about that. So you'll have to check your subscriptions and who you follow and see, because lots of people are doing envelopes today. So I have some used envelopes here, which is where we would gather most of our envelopes from. And I am using window envelopes. And then I don't know if you remember, but Lori and I, when we went thrifting together, she found this big box of envelopes. It's number 10 envelopes, and there's 500 in a package and for $4.99. And then I got my discount on them too. And there really was there's only a handful missing. So, you know, maybe it's like 480, I would say, at best, at the lowest. So I'm just going to take a couple of these out to show you what I do with new envelopes versus used envelopes. And then I'm going to get this off my desk. So yeah, I have a lot of envelope projects to do coming up. So I need to watch everybody's video of what they do with them. So my idea with today's envelope is to make a flip that goes around your page, and to also show you a tuck spot that you can make with an envelope. So by taking a new envelope like these, the only thing I have to do is cut open the sides and the bottom, and because we're going to make two pieces. So I'll start by just trimming this. I just take a little hair off the bottom, off of each side. And no cutter required. And then I'll cross the bottom as well. So this now gives me two pieces. One that I can use as a flip around my page, so it would glue to the other side of the page there. And even though I would be gluing it down here, I would probably cover it with something decorative afterwards. But I will still cover it for the sake of this video and for the sake of the envelope. But you can see that it's way too long, and I really don't want it that long. You have to also excuse my fingernails this morning. It is October 31st. It's Halloween, and my husband went out the door dressed as a very old zombie old man. And if I have time, I will put the little clip of a video that I did at the end of this video. But yeah, my fingernails are very dirty from helping him put his makeup on. But anyway, so you can see that this envelope is way too long. I don't want it that long anyway, so I'm just going to fold it. I want to fold it so that it doesn't interfere with the window, of course, but I'm going to fold it up. And where this flap is in the fold, I'm just going to cut that out. Could have probably done it after, but it's just as easy to do it now. So that it doesn't interfere with the pocket, and it will still wrap around the page very nicely, and you can glue that down to the other side of the page. Or you can just glue your edge so that you can use this as a tuck spot. You know, maybe glue it along the edge and along the bottom, and then use it as a tuck as well. But either way, it now fits the page and I will cover this part as well as cover the rest of the envelope. So the back part, now this trick I learned from Rachel at Roxy's Creations. She just made it to fit the page. So we're going to fold it and trim it down a little bit. I'm just going to go a little ways first and see. I mean, I probably should measure, but okay. I think what I'll do is I'll just line it up to this page and then just trim a little bit more here along the bottom. And along the top as well. Okay, so now that it fits the page, this can be decorated and then glued down on the three sides, and then you have a tuck spot, whether you have it coming from this end or whether you have it coming from this end. You can also cut this in half and just have two half pockets, top and bottom, or or flip, or have it wrap around your page so that you can have a pocket on both sides. That's entirely up to you, but I'm going to use it as a full tuck spot, and it's a little bit pointy, but we can fix that up once we do some decorating on it. And so I would do the same thing with this next envelope. I don't know why I took two out. I'm ambitious, but I know it's not going to get done in this video. But I wanted to go back to these envelopes that I've already that are already used, because that little flap here is glued down. Well, we always open our envelopes on the side, something I got convinced my husband to do right from the get-go. Push everything to the side, trim it down the side so I don't lose all that torn edge on my envelope. So I've got one side open already, so I'm just going to open the other side. And the bottom. I'm going to open up the bottom. And because the envelope, the flap is glued down, all I'm going to do is take my scissors and follow where it's glued down and recreate my flap. Now, you probably can't see it perfectly well, but you get the general idea. So I'm just following along the edge here. And so I still maintain my flap on my envelope. It's a little bit thicker, so I will tear away anything that is loose. But now I haven't lost the flap. In fact, it's even got a little bit more strength because there's still some of the paper from the other side. And I still have my little tuck spot. I just need to fix it up a little bit along the edge here. And here. And so I still have the tuck I can use, and I would just adjust it to fit the size of my page that I'm going to put it on. And so it's probably a good idea to decorate them and then just have them sitting and waiting until you're actually going to glue it down into a book page, so that you can adjust it as you need it, because you might have a shorter page or a taller page that you're putting it on, or you may decide that you want to use it in half to wrap around a page instead. Or cut it into two and make two completely separate pockets. So that's how I salvage and save an envelope, is by cutting the two sides. Like I said, we always open our envelopes on one side already, and so I'm just going to do it again to show you on this one, and then across the bottom. And so these used envelopes are just as easily salvageable, and you'll be able to get a flap if you want the flap. Not everybody wants the flap. So I'm going to just follow the flap. It's really hard to see. I'm going to it's even hard for me to see it as I'm doing it. And the sun is bright today in here. Okay, so you can sort of see now, I think, where the line is from the flap. I mean, you could cut it straight across if you didn't want to follow the flap exactly. And then just turning it over, any loose parts that didn't get licked. Do they lick envelopes anymore? I don't know why they put paste on them. Nobody licks them anymore. And you still have a flap to wrap around your page. And we're going to make it short by folding it up to the window without going over. And then opening it up and taking out that little square piece, or that little piece that was folded with the flap. And so now this envelope is good to go for decorating. So this just shows you how you can repurpose these used envelopes. And if you don't get you know, junk mail, how come? Because I get way too much junk mail. I'm going to take some of this off the desk here and give myself a little bit more room to work. And so for decorating, I decorate them pretty much how I decorate everything, is just to glue on some book pages first and then add something of interest afterwards. So I'm going to grab a couple of book pages out of this music book. And maybe one book page out of this book. This book seems to have lasted me forever. Get that out of the way. There's the other side of it. And then I did have one of these little packets that I might use some stuff for decorating. I think Glory was working out of this one, and I never put this stuff away, so it was still sitting in a tray. So I will play with whatever's in here when it comes to the decorating part. Okay, so I've got an envelope. We have a base, and then we have the envelope with the window. And one of the first things I do is I remove this cello from the window. I go on the back side and I just tear it off, if it will come off easily. Just because I'm on camera, of course it's not going to. If not, I will just cut it out when I'm done. Because I cover right over the whole thing and then I cut it out after and I put in a new piece of plastic. So some of these come out quite easily. This one's not, so I will just... oh, here we go. Now we're getting it. Same with Kleenex box. If you've ever done the top of a Kleenex box, I just take that plastic right off, cover my whole piece, and then put a new one on. Okay, that's opened up completely. And this way I don't have to worry about, you know, going over the line or not. And then once I've got it covered, I have a marking place of how to cut it out. So just taking my glue paper. And my ruler is somewhere here. Oh, yeah. I'm back to having a tray on my desk. Oh, I got to show you something. Maybe you can see it in the picture here. I got this for my glue, to hold my glue. It's a candle holder that they put a glass inside the glass, and then they filled it with all these different rocks. I bought it at the thrift shop for $2. And it's perfect to hold my glue, and it's got some weight to it, so I know it's not going to fall over, and it just sits here, and now hopefully my glue will always be ready. We'll see. We'll see how that works, right? Now, when I'm covering my envelopes, I don't worry about whether it's got a margin or if it's, backwards or forwards. The only thing I do is I take off that rough edge where it's come out of the book, because a lot of times there's glue and excess stuff in there. Oh, I have a new garbage can too. I don't know if you can see that. My niece Lindsay makes these, and she sent us one, and it's been sitting on the counter upstairs, but I really didn't have a great purpose for it, so I thought, I'm going to use it downstairs here to hold my paper waste, because I don't put anything really sticky in there. So I'm just tearing up some strips and pieces, just so I can have a little bit of interest, and it's not really meant to be reading the words, or it's just as a base to give the envelope more strength. And again, I'm just tearing off this salvage edge of where the So it's Halloween, and I don't know what it's like in your area, but the kids start coming here really early. We don't have a lot of kids. We'll probably get maybe about 13 to 15. That's how it's been the last couple of years. But I'm really ready for my candy this year, which is good. Okay, so I'm going to just take my glue paper and a glue stick. And glue this down. Now I probably won't finish all of these envelopes. I'm just going to do a couple of them just to give you an idea. And I just glue, like I said, right over this empty space. And I go over the edge of the paper a little bit. The only thing you have to be concerned with is that this has got some stickiness to it. So I just make sure to flip it down this way, or flip it over so it doesn't stick to my other paper or the table, until it dries a little bit. So I will just line this up a bit here. Like I said, overlapping along the edge, because we will trim it afterwards. And I'm just pushing it into the glue from the back side until this is dried enough that I don't have to worry about it sticking to my other page. And so while I'm waiting for the glue to dry, I'll just work on the flap a little bit and on the base. And things are going to roll. Now, I don't go across the creases. I go as close to them as I can, and then I ink afterwards. And I'm just going to take my scissors and trim this away, just so it won't drive me crazy. And since it's got glue on it anyway, I'm going to just cover that little piece of the flap there. Oh, I didn't do that very straight, did I? And pressing it into the envelope and then trimming this away. So you can see that I don't worry about which direction it's going in. And the only reason I'm trimming this away is so that I can continue working on the other side, and I won't have the glue sticking to the paper. All right, so I just need a small piece there. Yeah, and unfortunately you have to watch me do the whole thing, right? Going up to the crease. I don't like to go over, because then it creates that crumpled look in the folds, and I don't like that. So I just go as close to it as I can, and then I just trim off the excess, and then I ink the edges out. So flap is done, and now let's take a nice long piece and do the next flap, or the next length here. And it doesn't take long to make these. So all the ones that I have pulled out here, I will do them today once the camera's off. And I will show you the finished results in my next follow-up. It seems to be working really good to do that. After I did my video yesterday, my Antonio Makes Monday video, I went and while the video was editing and uploading, I sat and played and finished all my tags that I had started yesterday. If you watch the video, I made 4 autumn tags, finished them all, and then I added some other stuff to them. So I will explain that on my next follow-up, which should be this Friday, I hope. Friday or Saturday at the latest. Okay, just adding that into there. And one more little piece in here. Hopefully I cut that the right size. Now this is the flap going this way, so I really didn't have to go all the way to the bottom, but it looks nice when you do. So there is a little space there, but I'm not going to worry about that because that is on the inside bottom of the pocket, but I do have to do the outside here, and I'm not going to bother to do this part, just this little flap. And going up to the crease, which you probably can't see that well there. And I'm just going to turn it over and trim this away. Yeah, for Halloween, usually I buy 3 or 4 of those boxes of chocolates because, you know, just in case. And then I buy those candies and some gummies and, you know, little eyeball things and weird stuff. But then when you don't get all the kids, what do you do with all the stuff that's left over? You end up eating it. And you eat it and you eat it until you go right into the Christmas chocolates. And well, you know where that's going, right? It's like, no wonder I have problems. So, and then I always buy them too early. So I end up munching on them and opening up boxes. Oh, I should try one of these. I should try one of those. Till I get to the point where it's like, oh, now I have to run out and buy more. So this year, I just happened to be at Costco with Lori. And I bought a box of the individual Pringles. Because they were on sale and I saw them and I figured I'll grab them now. And I don't like Pringles. Sorry, Mr. Pringle Company. I don't care for them. So I eat them when I'm desperate. But I don't eat them very often. So I still have some left. Thank goodness. More than enough. And the kids will get probably 2 each of those. And then I only bought large chocolate bars this year. I bought real chocolate bars. I went to the dollar store. I bought 24 of them. Because I figured, well, if we have the kids and we run out, well, then we'll just shut out the lights. If we don't have and I'll spread out the candy as far, you know, the chips and the chocolate bars as far as I can. But as the night progresses, then they're getting, you know, whatever, a chocolate bar and chips or 2 chips or whatever till they're gone. But I did buy 4 extra candy bars because I bought them on Saturday. So I figured Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today's Tuesday. Yeah, this way I can have a candy bar, but then the rest will be gone by the end of tonight. unless we really don't have enough kids. But I only bought candy bars that I like, and I didn't buy all that candy, and I didn't buy all the other little bits and pieces. And I figured, you know, it's cheaper in the long run because I'm not eating all that stuff, and I'm not running out to buy more of it, and then I don't have it hanging around the house. So it's cheaper to buy large candy bars, full-size candy bars, and the kids will think that's great, right? Instead of me eating all that other junk that goes with it. So that was my solution, and so far there's still 21 there. So today is Tuesday, so I will have one again today. So there's my envelope covered basically with just, you know, book pages and stuff. And I've got my, I guess I'll have to use this one. Where's my big hole punch? Oh, there it is. Excuse my reach. And I'm just going to now punch a little thumb notch in here. And then another little thumb notch in here. And where I've got this covered on the inside here, I'm just going to take my small scissors and cut through, cutting to the corners. Now, some of you will say, well, why didn't you just, you know, cut it or go around it so you didn't have to take the plastic out? Well, I always find that, you know, it gets to be a really choppy looking corner. It's not nice and neat. And here I'm just cutting into it all the way around. And then I can trim very close. And I know that the paper's gone right to the edges of my window. And you can even recreate the whole window by taking out your decorative punches, which I've done in the past. I've taken and cut out a big square instead of having this little slot. So there's a number of ways that you can repunch them and redo them so that they're a little bit more decorative. And it just gives it a nice clean looking edge, and you know your paper is covered right to the edge of the yeah, I didn't cut that one little piece very straight, so I got to go back and trim that. And just going back and trimming this little corner here a little bit. Okay, and so there's my window hole, except I see one little spot here. And yes, if you have a different die cuts that you can use to retrim the hole or to make a new window, you can really make some beautiful designs. I just didn't use it for today because I'm just showing you what you can do with just your basic supplies. So there's my window cutout. I see I have to go back a little bit on that edge there, and I've got this done. Just a little bit more. And so much faster than trying to line everything up, match the curve. And I still have a little bit of corner trimming to do in here. So I'll do one more little. It actually looks like they didn't cut their corner. That's why it's not showing on this side. That's what it is. Okay, and then taking my ink, I'm just going to ink the edges a little bit. And distress it a little along the top and around the window. And then doing this part. And we're good to go. Now, there's two ways to glue the sides down. You can just open this up, put a little bit of glue along the two edges, and close it. And your envelope is, your flap is done. For myself, when that happens, quite often you lose, like, you know, if you're lucky, you only lose an 1/8 of an inch on either side. But if you make a little bit of a mess, then it goes in a little bit deeper. So then you don't have much space to put something in this pocket. So as an alternative, what I like to do is, once the envelope is done, I will take 2 pieces of paper. Is that about the way it says? No, I got to trim it down a little bit more. Just line it up here first. So I make them the same length as the pocket. And then I fold these in half the long way. And if you put things out of the way here, Kim. So I've just folded them in half the long way, and then I take my glue stick. And wrap it. So now this is going over the fold, but it doesn't interfere with the fold itself. Kind of after the fact. It's only when you're doing the envelope that the fold it takes its toll. So it's kind of like there's no crumpling, because it's just this one little piece around. You're not doing the whole envelope. And then I just re-ink this. And you would never know. And then the same with on this side. I'm going to glue it closed. On this side. Press it into place. And ink it up. And I now have a pocket that I can go right to the edge with the size of item that I want to stick in here. And there's no interference all the way across, and same with on this side. So that's how I like to do my pockets, just so I have the full length and I'm not losing it from the glue along the edges. And I also like to sew. I talk about that all the time, that I do like to sew my paper down. So I can do a straight stitch just along the very, very edge of this pocket, or I can avoid doing it altogether. But it won't take up very much room if it's just a straight stitch along the edge if I'm sewing. But at least now I have the full width of the pocket, and I know that there's no glue all the way down here, all the way down to the bottom. So the only thing that's left is to put the window back on. And so I wasn't prepared, as I should be. 1 second. It's coming. It's coming. Oh, here we go. I can just use one of these. I always keep the cellophane from packaging. Including these little pieces, but that might, yeah, that's too small for this, so I'll keep that one. But I always keep the cellophane from packages that I get. And I will cut a larger piece because I know that's going to cover the window perfectly. And then just open this up. We don't need all that length. And then this is what I do to recreate the window that I just took out. Now I will first put some glue here all the way around. This way I don't have to worry about getting glue on it. I don't have to worry about not being able to ink. I can ink right into the page here. Actually, I want a little bit more now that I see. And then I rest my cellophane down on top. Making it sure it goes right to the top over there. And in this case, I've gone over a little bit on the edge. And when you're using packaging plastic, it's actually a little bit more sturdy than the original window that this had in it. And just to make sure that nothing is going to catch on this cello that I've put down here, I just take a little bit of my book pages and put a little bit of glue on it. And kind of secure it along the bottom. Now you could also do this with washi tape, you know, maybe a washi tape that's ugly that you don't like, because we all have a couple of those in our stash. And, you know, the ones that say, you know, happy birthday, or they have dog paws all over them, and we've used it once and it just sits there now and never gets used again. So you can use washi tape, you can use scotch tape, you can use masking tape, whatever you like, but I always have book pages, and so I like to find different ways to use them up. And this just secures your envelope window a little bit better, and you don't have to worry about anything catching on it on the other side. So now to wrap it around the book page, doesn't that look sharp? And you've got the little pocket here, and it just needs to be decorated. And then on the other side here, we've got the flap. Now you could even just stitch this along here and stitch it right on, or just glue it along the edge, as I said, so that you can use this flap, or you can cover it up with some decorative paper or a second pocket. I think what I would like to do is just run a little bit of glue along the side of the page, and then along the bottom of this pocket and up the side, so that I can use it as a tuck as well. But I don't make that decision until I'm actually using it in a book. Usually what I like to do is have several of these handy so that I can add them in. And I can do this a number of ways. I can leave it open on the side as a flip and just have, writing space underneath here, or a pretty picture underneath here. Or I can glue this down along the bottom and have a tuck spot here. Or I can glue the two sides and have an actual pocket, which is what I probably would normally do because I've already made the little thumb notch in it. But you have the pocket here as well. So I will come back to doing some decorating on this one in a second. I'm just going to do the other side of it, if I can find it. Where did I put it? Oh, it's buried under here. So the same process for this half of the envelope. Now I don't know that I want this much of a dip in here, and so I think what I would probably do is just bring the two sides together and then just trim this away a little bit. That's what Rachel did. She took some of it away. So it has a little bit more of a flow to it. So taking my same book pages and, you know, going right over the edges, because I can always trim it back afterwards. So yeah, you'll have to check out the different pockets today. There certainly was lots of them. I was like, oh no, I hope nobody's doing what I'm doing. Because I've had this happen a couple of times. You know, you think that you've come up with this great idea, and then I don't know why, but I always get up in the morning and I check and somebody's done it just before me. But it just shows you that we all think alike, you know, at some point. And but it's always so disappointing, because the couple of times where I've been caught like that, I've had to scramble and regroup and come up with a new project to do for the week. It's not to say I can't go back and redo that project at another date. It's just that, you know, right at that moment, you don't want to be doing exactly what somebody else just finished doing. But with Back to Basics, with this techniques playlist that I've started, this is all, you know, even if the stuff has been done and redone before, it really doesn't matter, because this way I have a place where I can go back to my own playlists and say, oh yeah, that's how I did that. Or I forgot I made that. So that's why it's always good to revisit some old techniques that we've done before, because, you know, sometimes we forget all the different things we've made, and this is a great way to go back and, you know, and sometimes even change them up a little bit, where you can make them something brand new again. You know, because things that we did when we first started were just basics to us back then as well. So you can see there's no rhyme or reason as to how I'm putting this down. And you don't have to use book pages. I just like to use a lot of book pages. I mean, you can use your fancy papers as well. But yeah, I find a lot of times that there are things that I made before that I revisit again, and then I create a whole different look with them. Oh, there's the corner there. And that doesn't look like much right now. I'm going to get this out of the way. And I just have to go back to the other side of the envelope and follow the lines of where I had where the blue lines are. And trim away all the excess. And taking my glue cap, maybe I should find my glue too, because and my ink, and just inking up the edges a little bit. And now I have a tuck that I've used the whole envelope from both sides, and created a pocket with the other one. So where's my book page? So if I want to use this right here on the page, I have an instant tuck by just gluing down the 3 sides. I can also turn it this way, glue it down on the 3 sides, and I have a tuck from this spot. So it's up to you. You can also run the whole thing across as a pocket. I actually like it like this, where it's got this bit of a dip in it, just like this, and this could be folded over onto this side and just have a little little tuck spot. So you could create a pocket right here, and then folding this over, create another little tuck spot. Now my glue is lifting, so I'd have to fix that. So there are lots of options, but like I said, I don't make that decision until I'm actually going to use it. And I usually don't decorate these things until I'm going to use them. However, I do have several journals on the go in those shades of pink, which is why I had I found that paper sitting in the tray. And I figured, well, I should be working on my journal while I'm doing this, because everybody else seems to do that. They actually finish projects over a course of a few weeks of showing you stuff, and I never seem to do that. So I said, I'm going to make matching pockets for the journal I have coming up. So I need that tray of paper. And this was just one of those, you know, they're kits that you buy on AliExpress and you know, Temu and those kinds of places. It was just a little envelope. I think there was 100 pieces in here or something. So there's always fun stuff to play with in these kits. I'd like to start with something that's a little bit more substantial. Something like that, maybe. See, I don't like to do this on the fly. That's why nothing ever gets finished on camera. There's a butterfly. You know, I'm just showing you the old basic label butterfly, and I could have a little label here somewhere. You know, and if there was a bird, I could have a bird. Trying to find something that I like. Oh, here's a cute one. And I'm sure I could add some flowers onto these things. I was thinking, oh, gee, does this ever match the paper I have? But it is that piece of paper. Okay, there's a nice small label here. You know, I might be able to use that. This one has a bigger rose. I like that instead, I think. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing here. Yell out loud. Oh, here, look at, there's even a bird. Yell out if you see something you like. Now this would be a cute one. This one's already got book pages on. I'll do it on the next one, I think. There's a lovely lady here. She could have gone on one of these too, but I'll do that. I'm going to do several of these, so I will do them off camera and then show you the finished results. So I think that's enough to play with on here. It's really just to show you some ideas and what you can do. Now this is pretty white around here. It's a little bit too much white for me, so I'm going to trim it back a little bit. It's not a sticker, it's just a paper. And yeah, you get to watch me do this too. Now, sometimes I trim right to the item. Sometimes I leave this white around. It's just flavor of the month. And when I'm fussy cutting, I usually fussy... Oh, I had a whole box of flowers that were already cut. I could have used those. When I'm fussy cutting, I usually do that when I'm watching videos or watching TV or something, just because, you know, it gets done and you don't even notice it. So here I'm just going to ink this up a little bit so that white is not so stark white. Yeah, I buy these kits and then I forget I have them. I don't use them because I have so many beautiful digitals to work with that I can have something different every single time I want to do something. And so these kind of get put by the wayside and then they don't get used, and then I discover them afterwards. Now I always put a little bit of glue where I want the sticker to be. Then I know that this is going to stick on here well. And that also squeezes the glue out right to the edges of the sticker so that it really gets glued down well. Now I've got this rose. I could also cover these in napkins. I did have napkins out to do that, but I guess I'll have to do that on the next one. So again, I know where I want the sticker to be, so I'm just going to put a little glue here. I love this glue. It dries clear. And then I have this label. And this is just, you know, I'm not really thinking about how seriously I want these to look, only because I'm doing it on camera. And it's a time factor too. For me, I like to think about things a little bit more, and although I do things on the fly as well, but I do like to think about things a little bit more as to where I'm going to use it and how I'm going to work with it in my project. You know, because these are, if I wanted this to be a pocket, I would have had to do them the other direction. So that's why I normally don't decorate until I'm actually going to use it. Okay. And that one is done. And now I've got this one. This one will be pretty basic. Almost lost him. So at the end of this video, I will, you know, if it's not too long, I will add on a little bit of my husband's debut of his costume that I took this morning. I had to help him put his makeup on, so I was up at 6:30 just to do his makeup, although I was already awake. But you know, it just seems like that's an odd time to be putting his costume together. But he had to be at work at 8 o'clock this morning, so off he went. And if you know my husband, he's very reserved. He is just not the type. He is not the type. So to dress him up as a zombie, it cracks me up every time, because he's just not that kind of person. And but off he went, and today will be. But you see, there's a prize involved, so he's a little more interested because he has a chance to win something. I'm just going to roughly cut this where I think I want to cut it. Doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I'm just going to ink it up a little bit. And this one is just paper, so I can just put the glue right on it and it'll be good to go. And And so I will lay that across here, and I will further decorate these off camera, but this is just to give you some ideas of what they look like when they have some color on them and more of a theme to it. And this leftover piece that I cut off, I will put it on the other side on that flap. It won't line up perfectly, but at least it'll give this some decoration as well. And I will continue to decorate this further off camera. So there are my two pieces ready to go. So if I again take my page and line it up just to show you. It's actually pretty cute. I like it. So I can decide where I want it to be in the height of this page, or any page that I can have it come right down to the bottom if I want, but I kind of like it in the middle somewhere. And so now it's accessible as a pocket, and I can have another pocket up there by closing this off, or create a an open flip, whatever I decide. And then I've got the see-through window. This is a much stronger window compared to what it was before, and it also is a little bit neater as far as the edges, although there's one corner here that's a little bugging me, so I might have to go and fix that. I could put something like a little label thing over on that corner to cover it, but this is how I like to do them, so I don't worry about that plastic. And then when you turn this over, of course, you've got the flap here. I will further decorate this a little bit more, add some kind of trims or washies or something, and just a fun little piece to add into your journal. And it's a flip, pocket, and a tuck spot all in one. And then this as well, I can use this perfectly to cover up this writing on the page. I would usually like them to come out a little bit away from the page, because this is all going to get tucked in when you stitch your pages into your book, or when you are putting them in your through the elastic if you're doing a Midori style. But the reason I do that is because this gets to be very tight in this corner with all the other pages, and so you don't get full access, or it makes your pocket a little bit too snug. So if you do it out just a little bit further, you can add some washi tape, or even another little piece of book page just to finish it. It doesn't have to be functional in any way. It's just to close off so you don't see this, but it allows your pocket to be a little bit more accessible and not so tight. So that's my project for today. Now I couldn't very well flip this over to put it on this side, but I can open up this and put it on as a pocket on that side there. So that's even cute as it is like that too. So this is my project for today using the window envelopes, and you see I have 480 to do, or at least, and that doesn't include all of the junk mail that I get, because I do use all that as well. And off camera I will continue to decorate all of these that I've pulled out, and I will show them to you on Friday or Saturday when I do my follow-up video. I have some great digis coming out this week, so we will have fun with that. Maybe I'm going to have to play with some of those. And so yes, I will have that on Friday as well as part of my video. So you'll stay tuned for that. Tomorrow is Wednesday. I don't know if I'll have a video tomorrow because my studio is, I can barely walk through here. I've just been bringing stuff in and dumping it. So I think tomorrow I have to do a little bit of a cleanup. I also bought a new dresser, so that has to go in here, and some stuff has to be rearranged and taken out. So I think I'm going to work on that tomorrow. But Thursday will be my Thrifty Canucks video, and Friday will be the follow-up. If I can't quite make it to Friday, the follow-up will be on Saturday. But one way or another, it'll be done. In my two groups, I have the challenges. Come on, you guys. I've moved the images to files in each group. So you have to go to each group and download the files from the group, but now you don't have to send me an email or a message. You can access them directly from the group page. So I really want to see some challenges coming through and some inspiration from all of you. I'm trying to inspire you, so I would hope that you would try to inspire me once in a while and create some fun stuff for me to look at, because that just gets me more excited, and it makes me want to make more digitals. It makes me want to give more digitals away for free. And so I need something back. I need some inspiration from you, because you are very, very creative, and I want to see what you're making. So that's it. That's all for today. That's your Techniques Tuesday. Make these and stick them in your book. And, I wouldn't mind if you showed me some of those once in a while too, what you're making. And I wish you all a very creative week. A happy Halloween for those of you that partake in Halloween. And don't eat too much chocolate. Have a great day. Bye for now. So this is how I send my husband to work this morning. Yeah, he looks pretty dead. Let's just get close up to his face here. Ew. You want to turn around for me? He's got worms on him. See, there's a worm on him coming out of him, and leaves and mud. Of course, it's our red New Brunswick mud that's dried on him. Oh, there's his leg sticking through the bottom. And his hands. Yes, he's been through quite a bender last night. So this is how he's going to work this morning. Look at me one more time. Smile. Okay, that's it.